Right. So definitely breathing. How do you do? Somebody just asked, how do you do the breathing exercises? Then accepting oneself. Accepting oneself does not come from the place of this is how I am. Everybody should accept. But it is when you accept yourself, you know what your strengths are, you know what your weaknesses, like you knowing yourself, who am I? What do I want? How do I want to go about it? It's like an in-depth knowledge of yourself. You know who you are. If I were to pose the question to a lot of adults out there now, who are you and what do you want? They would fumble, because it's a conversation they've never had with themselves. So maybe after this meeting, just go and write something. Write a note to yourself. Who are you? And who are you can start from who was I before this meeting? And then who do I want to be going forward? And then what are the things that I want in my life? And then start working towards it. Hoping that, that's how it's going to also pan out for you. Because, well, we plan and analyze the best of planners. So write that letter to yourself, or have that discourse. So it is in accepting oneself, knowing what your skills are, knowing what your strengths are, knowing where your weaknesses are, knowing what your vulnerabilities are, right? And then no one is perfect. We're all flawed in one way or the other, in our ability to then to hone in on our strengths, whilst we're cognizant of our weaknesses, but we do not allow it to pull us back, because that's who we are. Some people, for the life of them, cannot speak in public, but they're excellent writers. Yeah. So training oneself, equipping oneself to be better in all ways, cultivating the spirit of common humanity. I mentioned it before. You are never alone. You might be the only one with that problem in your own immediate vicinity, but there are 1,001 Kafayah sprinkled out there with the same problems that I might have, or even bigger problems in their own vicinity. But I'm not, I do not have access to their own problems, because I'm only in know of my own problems. But I have learned already that there's something called the spirit of common humanity. People who have similar problems, I might not be aware. They might even have worse problems. So we must always cultivate that spirit of humanity, common humanity, and definitely hope. Exercise. So I'm going a bit into self-care. Walking. I'm not the advocate of go get a gym registration and then show up at the gym every day, because for some people, that's the beginning of their own anxiety. They don't show up, they begin to beat themselves up. Walk. Do not do anything that becomes a burden to you. It's also in solace. Some people will pray for long hours, so that by the time they get up from Zoo at 3, by the time Ashmi is coming, they're already palpitating. We should learn to do things in moderation. Anything that is going to cause you burden, that's not what Allah wants for you. So walking is a good way of exercise. It allows you to clear your mind. Eating, sleeping, you shouldn't skip breakfast, at least, even if it is tea, put something. If you're not fasting, definitely. Okay? Resilience is in connecting with Allah's mercy over his vengeance. I hammered and drummed this into the head of my clients. Resilience is in connecting with Allah's mercy over his vengeance, and in knowing that you'll never be perfect, and do not put yourself on the pedestal of perfectionism. It is in the ability to repent, to do tawbah. It is in the ability to remember Allah in moderation, because you must balance it. You must walk and then have time for prayer. You cannot spend all your days in prayer and expect that things are going to change. That's not how it works here. Okay? Resilience is in working hard. Resilience is in working hard, continuing. We must continue to show up, to be consistent, and in never giving up until death, which is the finality. So for every situation, if you're not dead, which is something that is promised to everyone, that's the death, the ultimate death that we have to pay until death. It's in telling yourself, until death comes, I will continue. And in between, Surat Bakra, where Allah says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. O you who believe, seek help. And I always say that, that help, as far as I'm concerned, seek help from Allah and with anyone. Seek help from Allah and from anyone who can help you. Seek help in patient perseverance, because when you're seeking help, some things are in a process. You won't get fast results. With patient perseverance, and that most definitely Allah is with the patient. So we must seek help from Allah and with any other person in our environment who can help, be it medical professionals, be it finance professionals, whoever, but with patient perseverance, knowing that things are a process and will not happen overnight. Situations don't change overnight. Yeah, so those are some of the ways as adults we can work towards building our resilience.